Yeah, Satanism, yeah, is for idiots and fools. Only fools could believe in that. How could any fool believe in devil or Satan, you idiot fools? Greedy, selfish. That's the type of people who want more, never satisfied. They don't want you to believe in God, they don't want you to believe in love. No, they don't want you to believe in anything. They want to make one world religion, Satanism, and they want everybody to bow down to that. So they can take your children, torture your children, rape them, kill them, harvest their organs, drink their blood and eat their flesh. They've been doing this throughout time. And now they're gonna stop. Because it's time for them to stop.
That I had sex with you.
Just remember, fear is the opposite of faith.
When you did what?
When we killed a baby, first time. And
You killed a baby?
Fear is the mind killer.
You yourself?
With Papa.
At least
Papa
Gabriel
my
know
hand,
that.
But he told me to cut the baby's head off. But he forced me to. I couldn't.
He held your hands?
He held my hand. Yes.
Like what? Show me.
So this is my hand on the knife. He put his big hand on, and he pushed my hand and then cut off the head. They work with the social services.
And what did they do to you?
They do sex. They touch each other. They touch me and Gabriel. They have plastic quillings. And they stick in our bottom.
And what happens in the church?
And we do baby sacrifice and eat the baby.
What do you mean sacrifice and eat the baby?
So we kill the baby and eat it and drink the blood from it.
Is that true, Gabriel?
Yes. And we dance with the skulls.
You what?
We dance with the skulls in the church.
What skulls?
Skulls of the baby.
Pardon?
Baby skulls. The skulls of the baby.
You dance with the baby skulls?
Yes.
And who kills the baby?
Papa, me, and Lisa. And so
Who kills the babies?
Papa.
And what, he gets you to help him?
Yes.
Shoot.
So he tells us to hold the hand on the knife, and then he holds his hand on our hand. So then he cuts the baby's head off. And then he puts it upside down, and then we drain the blood.
And then what they do?
And then we cook it, and then we drink the blood, and then after we go and dance with the skull. We have a church, our own big church, and we use it for sex, eating baby, drinking baby's blood. We sacrifice the baby, we do sex to the babies, we throw them, when we're dancing with the skulls after the babies are dead.
What skulls?
The baby skulls.
Before?
Yeah, from before. We put it on.
Where did the baby skulls come from?
They come from the baby.
How would you get them from the baby?
We cut the baby's head off. Then we clear all the meat from the skulls, and then we put all the meat and cook it. Sometimes we roast it. Sometimes we roast it in the oven. Sometimes we cook it on a frying pan.
You told me that.
Here.
Where's the birthmark of Mrs. Ford's dad? All there, yes? And anything else? Anything else that she's got there? Anything else you can remember?
Yeah, she's got like a little dot here.
A dot, yeah? Where? Show me she's got a dot. Show us. Right there she's got a dot, yeah? Okay, lovely. Anything else you'd like to tell us about?
Yes, and she's got pierce rings.
Pierce ring?
All over her privates. And she also got a pierce ring on her private and her lips.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And what abuse does she commit on you?
She sticks a willy on my bottom, she touches my private, she kicks my private, she rubs into the white things come out, she rubs it really nice, she flicks it really hard, and she also do that.
What's she do?
And she pushes it.
Who does that? The headmistress?
Yes, but really, really hard.
And what willy does she stick in? And headmistress, she's a lady, she hasn't got a willy, has she?
Yes, she does, a plastic one.
Oh, she has a plastic willy?
Yes.
And how does she attach it to herself?
With like a rubber band.
Okay.
Like a trousers band.
Okay, oh, right, a belt.
And then the shoes like this.
Oh, Velcro.
Yeah, so this.
Oh, Velcro bag. Okay, well done. So well done. Anyone else you can think of who'd like to tell us about who has distinguishing marks?
Yes. Vanessa, she got above.
Vanessa, now who's Vanessa?
Vanessa's Clark's mum. Clark is a boy in my class and he is my best friend.
And what's his mother's name? Vanessa what?
Vanessa Patrick.
Okay, thank you.
Was it? Vanessa Fitzpatrick.
Oh, Fitzpatrick. Okay, carry on. Any distinguishing marks about her?
Yeah, she has birthmarks on her boobies.
Yes?
And she's also really hairy. Her private is like really hairy,
Okay. That's the lady you call Shepherd's Bush?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you tell me more about Vanessa?
She's got hairy legs, she's got hairy boobies, she's got hairy arms, and her hair's really wiggly and blonde.
Okay.
And she's got white skin.
And any other distinguishing marks about her? Apart from her being very hairy?
Yeah.
Any other marks on her body?
Yes. She has like a little, she's got a verruca here.
A what?
No, verruca.
What's a verruca?
No, a verruca is what I got here.
Okay. And she's got one where?
On here.
Okay.
Between her two bones.
Anyone else you'd like to tell us about?
Yes.
Who has distinguishing marks here?
Yes, like really strange marks. And Mr. Hollings.
Who is the most hurt? What they do to children?
They hurt them, they do sex to them, then they pay sweeties for them. And
What did they do to you?
Sweeties.
And they pay sweeties like
For sex?
Yeah, for sex and a bumper bag of sweets. And we have Mentos, we have Snickers, we have Mars, we have the big church in Hampstead. They do sex, then they go all, and that's where they go all together and they do sex.
Well, you've got Psalms.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me, my rod and my staff is a refuge for me. There's the police. There's the police, Ella. There's the world of police out There's a world of them outside, Ella. A world of them. Don't see them. Don't do that, don't see them, don't Hold on. Can I go inside and find out what? Inquire what? Hello? Hello, can I cut a banner, please?
I'm sorry.
Who's?
I'm sorry, not speak English. I'm sorry, not speak English.
No, don't open the door.
I
Don't open the door.
I don't know. I don't understand. No.
Get a video camera on the front door. Get a video camera on the front door. Don't open. Don't open.
Video camera.
Yeah, video camera, just in case.
Hide from them.
No, but just in case
hide
they.
from them. John, right?
Yeah.
She shouldn't hide from them.
What is that? What is that? I'm sorry, not speaking. I don't understand.
No, don't open the door.
No speak English, sorry. I'm sorry.
Have you got a warrant? Have you got a warrant?
We don't need one, we'll talk to you.
Right, well, I'm talking.
What's your name?
Well, hang on a minute. Hold on. What do you want and why?
I need to speak to Ella.
Right, look. What is your lawful authority to be here or to try and gain entry?
I want to speak to Ella.
Right, are you harassing me?
No, not at all.
Ella's not here.
Right. Well, I think that the householder has made their feelings known, and they would be grateful if you would, for now, unless have you got a warrant or have you got grounds to be here?
I don't need a warrant to speak to Ella, do I?
Right. I don't know if she wants to speak to you at the moment. And I don't know if that is something that she can do.
What's your name?
No, hold on. Hang on. It doesn't matter, but I can explain who I am. Got nothing to hide or nothing like that. Okay, so hold on. You have not explained why you want to speak to this lady.
Between us, I can't really hear anything you're saying.
Well, I know, but hang on. Hold on. I can hear you fine.
Oh, it must be me then. I can't hear you fine.
Well, I don't quite like the tone. If you want to make an appointment with me, if you want to make an appointment with me to meet, okay, that's fine, and I can do that, right? Okay, and I suggest the best way forward is to make an appointment to meet or discuss certain matters with me, and I'm quite happy to do that. I want to be of assistance, but I'm a bit concerned.
There's traffic noise just starting to door.
Well, no. Look, hold on. I don't even know who you are. You could be anyone.
Well, if you look out the window.
No, well, I'm sorry, I can't see through this window. Look, hold on. Have you got a lawful authority to be here at the moment? Is there?
Talking to you, of course I have.
Well, actually, I'm not sure if that may be the case. It may not be the case. Right?
At the end of the day, I don't.
Who are you?
So how can I speak to Ella?
Well, you've not made clear who you actually are, so I'm not sure about talking to you any further. I've made my position clear.
Where was she? Yeah, I know. No, but explain to him how we can get that. No, I've suggested that there can be an appointment. I can go and speak to him and say, look, I'm here taking some instruction.
But let him go.
Yeah. You keep video so they can't do video. Keep video. Well, how can I to explain? Why? Have they got grounds for arrest? Have they got grounds for arrest? No. Have they got a warrant? Have they got a warrant? Have they got a search warrant? Have they got a warrant? Yeah. No, they want a rat. They could be anyone. They could be gangsters. I don't know. Well, I'm trying to get out, so then I can tell everything that they are. Well, I don't what we do, Ella, is we communicate by email.
Well, they're ready? Go and film. Come Rob that, Rob. No. Yeah, but keep the arm. There's no good running in as well, Rob. There's actually the other side running in. Rob?
Yeah, Rob? No, I'm just checking out what you're doing.
Rob, there is no point. Rob.
I do not trust these fuckers.
Yeah, Rob, there's no point.
Okay.
If the brakes are over the middle.
Yeah, that's what I agree. Yeah.
They want to know how they can get. She can turn up tomorrow at a given time with her solicitor, with her legal representative. If you want to speak, if you want to make that clear to him, you can. But do not open.
Well, that.
You can tell him that out the window.
How far are they away from the door?
They're quite far. Don't open the door. You can come upstairs window.
No, because I can just get up, because then I can communicate. We can do everything via email.
Oh, you want
and
to go?
phone.
You want to quickly get out?
Yeah.
Go on. They'll try and rush the door.
Yeah, just straight out.
Oh, one minute. They'll try and rush the door. I think they have to open the window. 1 minute. They're not trying to open the door after they will.
No, please.
They're going to try and rush the door.
Yeah, well that's fine, because they won't succeed, because you'll close it straight, aren't you? I'll go straight out.
And they'll try and grab you.
Well, that's another question. But I'm not prepared to be it. They won't. They won't, not now. Because you're just, I mean, that's outside of the case, isn't it? And then, what, been fucking killed? Gone missing?
You're not going to go missing.
Yeah, exactly. So open the fucking door and I'll get out. Then,
what's the point of you going out there?
because then I'm not here. Well, they may do.
You can't not answer the door.
Ella?
Hello, I can see you there.
Hello, can we just explain something to you? We know that Ella's inside and we need to come in and speak to her.
Why?
Do you have a power to come in and speak to her
Yeah.
on section 17 of the case?
Yeah?
Because we have reasonable grounds to believe that she's in there and we need to speak to her about an offence, which means she can enter under section 17.
Yeah?
We would
Interesting.
prefer you to open the door to talk to you.
What offence? I'm actually taking legal instructions.
Okay, that's fine.
And what offence are you referring to?
Section 4 of the Harassment Act.
Harassment of whom?
Offence which is triable either way if you look up section 4. I appreciate harassment wouldn't give us a power.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Yeah, okay,
Okay, but
right.
section 4 is triable either way, which is an indictment offence.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, in that instance,
Yeah.
right, why haven't you suggested that there should be an appointment made, it may even be tomorrow, at a local police station where that individual that you've referred to can then attend with a brief and with a solicitor, I'm being recorded here, and they can then allow you to put any questions
Well, the statement
to
of
them.
complaint has just been completed. And we need to preserve evidence and speak to Ella, okay?
Right.
In a professional manner.
Well, okay then, in that instance, if you've got her phone number, why hasn't she been called? Why hasn't she been telephoned?
Why haven't you been telephoned?
Well, we're knocking on the door and we're trying to speak to her now.
Yeah, I don't know whose house it may be. I think the best, if you want my opinion,
Who are you, please?
well, I am a lawyer, I'm a qualified lawyer, I'm a practicing lawyer, and I'm trying to take some legal instructions at the moment. I suggest...
We need to speak to Ella. And
you've explained the position. I'm going to stand back. You've told me, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. I've explained how I see things. I'm not getting in your way. Okay?
One last thing. Do you understand what's been said?
Yeah.
Under section 17 of the case, we could be entitled to forced entry now.
Look, I understand all of that, and I've not necessarily disagreed. I've just made the point that I'm sure that things can be dealt with by way of an appointment. It's been put to me that there's preservation of evidence. evidence has been put. I don't know who's made the complaint. That's fine. You've said your bit. I won't say any more. I've said who I am. Obviously, I'm not subject to these matters, so there we are. Okay. I'm not the householder, I'm afraid. Okay.
Can you just convey to Bella for me that we have got a power density, we will exercise it, but we'd much rather deal with a civilised.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, well then in that, hold on. I'm sorry, I've got other voices here at this end. Sorry. What about the proposal that I've made of an appointment?
No, it's not an option at this time. We need to do it now. And as I say, unfortunately, if it comes to it, we would have to force entry, and we are lawful in doing so.
Can you give any more
opportunity to open the door?
I'm not trying to be in any way obstructive. I feel like a little bit of I'm in a little bit of a difficult position. Can I ask? Can you provide any information, at least to me, as to who's made such a complaint or what that was? No. That's fine. I just asked the question. That's fine. Okay.
The bottom line is that unfortunately it is non-negotiable.
Yeah, I understand that, officer. I understand that. I can't see. I am not the householder. That's the problem. Okay, so you have to respect that.
At least then, if we do have to cause errors come in,
I'm standing here on my own right now. Just now. So I'm not standing in your way. I'm not the householder. That's all right. Oh, that's fine. You've been clear.
We have a few minutes, otherwise we will have to force entry. As long as she knows that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, they will come in. They're going to come in. They're going to come in.
The other schools, even if there's some token investigation of the schools, nothing will be found because by now they'll have gone in over half term, they'll have cleaned out all the cupboards and lockers and spots of this and that on the floor and sanitised and disinfected the whole place. There'll be no evidence whatsoever and the whole thing will then, they think, die a death, right? And the children will have just had a sort of fantasy and that's it. It's just beginning and it's an opportunity because this is very widespread. The children have said that it's not just one school, but it's several schools. In fact, in one of the videos, which, if you get on my mailing list, I'll make sure that you get all the sort of the hot stuff. You'll get the videos every day. You'll get when we bring them out, you'll get all the best sites to go to and things. If anybody wants to put their name on my mailing list, I will keep them updated. Because I don't even do things by Facebook and Twitter so much because I like things to circulate a little bit quietly, so nobody knows. There's too much bickering and fighting on Facebook and people sort of taking sides and having a pop at each other. On email, you can just send information quietly in a civilised manner and get it across to people and that's it. You think you're so smart because you've got a smartphone, YouTube for me, save the children, sign the fucking petition, look at me, the power of one. Okay, so this is an update on the case which is inside the Royal Courts at the moment in the Family Division that people may remember I spoke about 2 weeks ago when it opened on the 17th of February. And it's a fact-finding hearing in a very serious case of not just paedophilia and a paedophile ring, but there's also a nasty ritual element to this case with an account from the children at the heart of the case that there's been ritual murder and flesh-eating of babies, cannibalism of babies that they've experienced. Whether or not we believe the children at this stage, it's for everybody to judge, but people seem to think, I get the impression that overwhelmingly people think that the children are telling the truth, even though a few days after they were taken into care, they retracted to a police officer some of their earlier allegations. But that particular footage of the children retracting their allegations, particularly the little boy, has been analysed itself, and there's been obviously quite a lot of subtle bullying and intimidation of that witness as he tried to give what he wanted to give as his evidence. And children, when they're being interviewed, they get a feeling that if I don't please this person who's interviewing me, it's going to get much worse for me. And we have to remember these children had been taken into care, they were on their own, they didn't have their mother or mother's partner or grandparents even, or anybody familiar with them. And they were being probably quite pressurised to retract some of the stuff they'd said. So in the context of all of that, we have to say the retraction video may not stand up ultimately. And most members of the public still seem to be going with the initial videos where they said right off their bat what happened. So that's where we are with the children. Now, the fact-finding hearing, this is day 5. There was a gap last week when nothing much was happening. Maybe the judge was doing some reading. No, that's what she does. It's to read up. There's a lot to read, studying what's happening online and all sorts. Maybe she watched me giving a video the other day.
Yeah, let's hope.
So anyway, here we are, day 5, Tuesday the 3rd of March, and the case is resuming for 4 days this week, and then there'll be another 3 days next week, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th, and then on the 12th she'll give her judgment. That's only 11 days of hearing of a very, very complex and quite dark case, where not just the children could be potential witnesses, but there are a whole lot of people that perhaps should have been questioned in the school and the local area that they claim many people were involved in. So how can a judge really look at all the evidence that she might need to look at in this case to ascertain whether there is something going on here which really shouldn't be? I started off saying straight away that I think this should be in the criminal court, not in family court, and I don't feel the children should be in care. There's no need for that. The mother has been driven away by a police arrest, attempted arrest on her. There's nobody on the mother's side in that courtroom, and it's already had 4 days of hearing with nobody in there representing her. I tried, as probably people remember, I tried to be Mackenzie's friend on the day 1, but the judge wouldn't have me. So there's no one in there, nobody knows what's being said. In the context of the judge already having shown, I feel, if you just look at the facts of the case, bias, endorsing the local authorities' contact arrangements for the children, with the mother specifically asking for more contact or at least a level playing field.
What about all these videos going up over the net with the children's faces? I mean, whoops, a daisy.
To be quite honest, I regret that somewhat.
Yeah.
I think it's regrettable. I think because the mother herself, she was on the point of producing her digest of the videos.
Yeah.
With the faces blurred.
Right, okay.
Right? And she hadn't quite finished the tape, the video footage.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly all erupted. You know,
well, I mean, how did it all suddenly erupt then? I mean, who had the videos to put them online with
a lot of people over the months since last September have been shown the evidence.
Right, okay.
Including members of Russia Today.
Right,
TV,
okay.
And some Russian people. The materials since early November.
Yeah.
I tried to persuade my colleagues that it was best to sit on this until the family case had been concluded.
Yeah.
And to choose very carefully the moment when to release this on the world, as it were. If it was good to release it at all. And anyway, we should rush to release it.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't release anything from my side, but I have 1 or 2 colleagues who are a little bit hot-headed, and they kept saying all the time, Well, the more we sort of sit on this stuff and talk and you know, discuss, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
The more children are being abused in the Hampstead school.
Yeah.
You know, and the children are suffering now.
Yeah, it's
so
shocking,
sort of
isn't
feeling
it?
of, you know, and in some way they're a strong little band of people. As I say, it's quite angelic, and the children are quite brave.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And they could have stayed when the children started telling the story to their mum. They could all have stayed out in Morocco and not come back and just left the whole scene, or gone back to Russia or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, not been in the
The
UK.
mum wanted to come back though, didn't she? Yeah.
She felt it was public duty.
Right, to save the other kids. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
But then she wanted to handle it her way, and so it's regrettable that it's all sort of exploded now. But at the same time, it could be the only way to do it. I don't know.
I'll let you drink your coffee now. Hi. Do you live here? Why? It's all over the internet, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. The 2 kids that went to the school here. It's all over the net. Sorry? You don't want to talk to me, now you want to talk to me?
No, I don't.
You want to ask me questions, I ask you questions, you don't want to answer me, now you want to ask me questions.
Because you're taking a picture of my house.
Yeah, I told you. No, this is the school. Yeah.
I'm asking you what are you doing? Why are you taking pictures?
Well, I'm allowed to. There's 3 words. Why are you eating babies? Why are you eating babies? Hey? Well, yeah. You laugh. You laugh. It's all over the net, isn't it? It's all over the net. Yeah? You laugh.
Yeah, well, here we are. It's nearly at the end of this fact-finding. We're wondering what the judge is going to come up with on Thursday, and we're wondering if she's going to do the right thing. But whether she does the right thing, or in certain people's books the wrong thing, it's going to be difficult for her either way. If she does the right thing by the people, the public, the children, all the people affected by this, all the children who are the victims of this case, and we do believe there are many victims, and they haven't been rescued from the situations that they're in. If she does the best she can for them, then obviously she's going to get into trouble with certain shadowy people ranged around her in these places and in higher places, and so it's difficult for her.
So I mean, basically, are they still got no legal representation in there at the moment?
They haven't, and this has been one of the frustrating things for me, because I'm conscious as every day goes by, more is happening in that courtroom that we actually could benefit from knowing about and hearing, and yet we haven't had a single syllable fed back to us. You know, when I say we, I'm still, in my mind, representing the mother.
Yeah.
Whether or not formally I'm representing her, you know, I'm concerned about her and I'm concerned about the children.
Yeah.
So, of course, we need to know what's being said, which could be in their interest and could not be in their interest.
And what about the Russian embassy? I thought the Russian embassy was involved.
Went in last week with the grandparents when it was the turn of the grandparents to give their witness evidence. The Russian embassy went in.
Yeah.
And again, I should be trying to check up that they, you know, by last time I saw him, I said, please try and get in there on Thursday the 12th.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's when she will deliver her verdict.
So they haven't managed to sort out any legal representation either?
Well, there's all sorts of difficulties. They're away in a very remote place. They've got no email, no Skype. They feel nervous about phoning people from where they are because, you know, it's easy to trace locations of mobile phones.
Yeah.
It's under those circumstances, and they've got very little money. So under those circumstances, it's very difficult to arrange lawyers, and for them to trust the lawyers enough at that distance, not being able to meet the lawyers.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they didn't trust the lawyer, we still would have got some information.
There is one lawyer that I kept saying, look, please just, you know, because there's nothing better. There's somebody who can go in and just listen and take notes.
Yeah.
Please. I've put that message to her many times, whether or not she's done it. Because whatever happens, I'm not in touch with that lawyer, or I've tried to get in touch with him and he doesn't seem to want to speak to me for some reason. So I don't know what's going on.
So there's no representation and then...
No, there's certainly not representation. And the best we can hope for is listening ears in there.
Yeah.
But in any case, the case is practically over anyway, so, you know, in a couple of days after that, she could get a transcript. But again, whether the reality of what was said matches up with the text of the transcript, that's another thing you don't know.
Well, that's right,
You hope it's the same, but you don't know. You know, certain bits could be eliminated or cleaned up. The judges have discretion to doctor the transcripts. To make it look what they want to.
You know when the mum ran away from the house, when the grandparents were there?
Yes.
Was that after the videos had been leaked, or?
Yes, I mean the videos were leaked sort of earlier in February. On the 10th of February, the case went to before this judge on an application from Barnet Council regarding the sudden deluge of publicity, for the judge to make an order for some of that to be obviously damned. So there was an order against the press and media from continuing to publish this case, insofar as press and media were concerned, but they haven't been particularly. But for anybody, for Google, for Facebook, for YouTube, you know, any of the social media, we're also under this injunction not to allow any stuff to continue to circulate.
Right.
And then there was also an order for the two parties that are most chief suspects of having been responsible for the internet leaks and all the information that's been swirling around, that they should, by a certain date that week, which happened to be Friday the 13th, 4 o'clock, they were to remove anything that they'd put up.
Right.
The police arrived 24 hours earlier and attempted to arrest the mother. They're also having been, through third parties, hints that the Chief Mackenzie friend was also in danger of being arrested if he stayed around. So I told her, you know, I can read the writing on the wall, you better get out. And so by the end of that week, even though they still had till Friday the 13th, 4 o'clock to do what they could to put the matters right, they were already both left the country. The police were after them. I think the police in that instance were out of order. They should have let the whole thing roll till Friday, which was according to the judge's order. So that's one more black mark notched up against the police.
It's a tricky situation then.
It is.
It
is. I think probably when it's all over, they probably will say something about it. I'm sure they will. And of course, then there's the next stage, which could be appealing or could be putting in a counterclaim.
So this thing with the dolls and the blood on it and that was Sabine's idea, was it, or someone?
I hated that idea.
Suggested it to Sabine.
No, it wasn't Sabine's. I think it's somebody else. Sabine picked it up and Sabine sometimes, you know, she thinks anything for publicity and doesn't think terribly hard about it.
See what's the best thing to do from there, but obviously, is there going to be a problem if we start turning up at Hampstead's?
I would say we should perhaps do an action, but away from the town,
Yeah.
and we should wait and see how the public opinion comes out. Thank you very much to people who've come along at this horrendously early hour for us. 9:30, 9:15, I think one or two of you might have been here. I was a bit late. On Thursday the 19th of March, for the event at last of the conclusion of the judge's fact-finding hearing of the what we might call the Hampstead case in the Family Division of the High Court of Justice. And the judge has taken 11 days to come to the conclusion that she's going to come to this morning in the space of about 1 hour flat. So it's now about 9:45, and in 3/4 of an hour she will have given her judgment. It's described, I'm not quite sure where I've seen this written, but in all the welter of emails and so on last night, it was described as a handed down judgment. She's going to deliver a handed down judgment. I don't know quite what that means, whether it means that certain parties are already privy to what she's going to say and she's already handed it down to certain parties, I don't know. But anyway, one may assume that she's thought about it for quite some days, and therefore to an extent she's decided, and it's just going through the formalities of actually delivering that from her bench. She's also going to give directions. So within the space of an hour, she's going to hand down her judgment and give her directions, as I suppose what will happen to various parties in the case, particularly the children. And this is really where our interest is keenest, because we want to know whether she's going to give the right directions from our point of view. And from the public's point of view, the overwhelming opinion of the public is that there's only one direction she could give with regard to the children, and that is to give them to their loving and eminently suitable to raise them grandparents, and that they should be swiftly taken to Russia, which could happen literally from today. You know, there's nothing to stop the children being taken very, very rapidly now to a better life and a quieter life and a normal life in Russia, in their grandparents' lovely home. So that's really what should happen. In Russia, of course, the children will not be surrounded by people who instantly may recognize them on the street. However, that's happened, and I personally slightly regret that, but it's happened, and so we mustn't, we would prefer it not to go on happening. These children should be free to grow up anonymous. Yes. And that's the most important thing. So I hope she makes the right judgment as regards the children. As regards the other parties, she may decide that as she hasn't been able to hear one whole section of the parties in the case, that is the mother and also this boyfriend of the mother, who's been accused of quite severe abuse of the children himself, whether or not there's any foundation to that, she will not have been able to determine. So she may have to draw a blank on that one. As regards the father, she will have been told by the police that all the allegations against him have been thoroughly investigated in the space of about 10 days flat, even though they stretch in all directions and involve about 150 other people in the Hampstead area, allegedly. It's all alleged. So, I mean, all that is very unsatisfactory, that, his computer should have been taken the moment the allegations were lodged against him. His house should have been raided. School should have been raided for evidence of what the children were saying. The teachers should have been examined, in the ways that have been suggested.
Come forward for examination.
Or come forward for examination. If they were entirely innocent and it was all some trumped up fantasy fairy story concocted, however it was concocted by whomsoever, then the teachers would have been bursting to get in front of medical forensic examination line and show there's no evidence borne out by the children's drawings so that hasn't happened. So the only thing that we have heard here and there, because various parties have been doing deep research on this case and sort of going on Facebook and looking at connections between all these people who've been named, and I think one party at least has had a tattoo removed in the last few weeks or months, so it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Yes. No names. I don't do names, and
perfumes in Arabia.
well, there's a whole lot of things that haven't been done in this case. So she may decide, if she's a sensible judge, she will decide she cannot judge the case, the innocence or guilt or truth of allegations regarding either of the accused parties in this case. So she may have to put that all on one side. The innocent party, the first respondent, the mother, she hasn't got any allegations against, and yet because the mother is entangled with the so-called boyfriend, who's he's a normal middle-aged man, so boyfriend is a little bit flippant, but anyway, he's a decent, normal middle-aged man. So we call him the boyfriend for convenience. Because she's still with the boyfriend, obviously she's not in a position to receive the children at the moment. So there is only one option, in all our minds, and I hope in the judge's mind too. The other option, of course, from the local authorities' point of view, might be, and this is where the danger lies for those children, that from the local authorities' point of view and from all the people who might be implicated in this whole sordid affair, it would be safe to keep the children in England, in care, and enable their, some of the sort of strange thoughts that they've been having to be gently eased out of their mind in whatever way they can be eased out of their mind, and that may be preferable rather than they go back to Russia with all these memories or fantasies or notions still live in their minds and not yet fully dealt with. Well, we could see already in September the process of easing them into a more comfortable perception of the reality that they have been experiencing. That process had already started in September. We saw that from the police videos, particularly the second and third and fourth of the police videos, and the ones taken on the 17th showed the process even further on. And also the grandparents saw that process underway themselves when they last visited the children in January, which was the last time they saw their grandchildren. And they said the children were quite different. They were behaving very strangely. They didn't want to have a cuddle. They didn't want to sit on their grandparents' laps as they had the first time in December. They didn't want to have sweets, fruits and things out of the granny's bag that she brought for them. Oh no, we mustn't have those, Gran. We can't take those, Gran. We can't have those. Not allowed. So what was going on there? Some process was underway already. Well, from the point of view of the local authority, it might be better for that process to continue, and for, if down the line these children tell their story when grown up, that they don't remember anything, or it's all sort of somehow, oh, I don't know what all that was about years ago. So. Those are the options, and we don't know. As regards people more peripheral to the case, such as Sabine, already, the die is cast regarding Sabine, and the question is whether Sabine is granted an amnesty or some sort of court protection to come back and answer to the charges against her, which I think would be very clement of the judge to do that. And by the same token, she might look askance at what I've been doing on the streets for the last 11 days of this fact-finding hearing, and she might decide that I should be put into the same basket as Sabine and maybe required to answer charges about what I've been doing on the street. So, I've been facing that. I took the option of being on the street because I felt it was important that the huge energy and huge concern generated by this case should be somehow harnessed and harvested in a positive way, so that we, the mature public who are able to judge, as well as that judge in there can judge right and wrong in these proceedings and in this case, could give our view. And everything I've said on the street reflects hundreds of emails I've been getting, lots of little telephone conversations, lots of opinion of passers-by and people who are aware. I've got a big network, and I've had a lot of input from all around the network over the last few weeks about this case and how concerned they are. And the overwhelming opinion is there's no smoke without a fire, that this needs further investigation. What she does today or has done in the last few days is really almost immaterial, except from the point of the welfare of the children.
Everything needs to be revealed.
It needs to be revealed.
So that healing can start.
Healing needs to start, and also a further investigation still needs. I mean, let's face it, it was only a very short, quick investigation last September, 10 days, and this is a huge alleged group of people, so And there's stuff been coming out, even in the last few days, people have been sending me information. And we've got some of these sleuths that I called for 2 weeks ago, you know, come on British sleuths, rise up from your slumbers, let's get stuck in, there's lots to investigate, particularly online. So they are delivering now, and there are contacts with people who are actually on the list of named people, or who are fellow parents and concerned, and you know, all that needs harvesting and dealing with over the next few weeks. There's no smoke without a fire, and I think this is quite a big smouldering, stinking bonfire here, which does need to be raked over, cleaned up. And I think if the police are not able there's a SRA unit being set up in the Met Police, and it's only got 30 staff, and it's got to deal with the whole of this big city and probably up and down the country as well, because the Met obviously connect with all the other forces. So that's not enough. I think this should be a public inquiry at this stage.
Yes,
and
definitely. How do you feel if your children were going to school in the Camden, Hampstead area?
Well, I would advise concerned parents to get together on this, and you know, having recovered from your shock, and I think a lot of them have been in shock because the mums nets and net mums, those sorts of networks have been quite quiet. I mean, I've been on them, and there's not much discussion going on, and it's as though people are sort of frozen in the headlights in some way and in shock and can't really take it in, hope it's not true, and hardly dare speak about it. Well, I think that has to now gradually dissolve. Mums and dads in the area need to speak about this. They need to help put pressure on the authorities, the local authorities, the local parliament and the politicians and the government to set up this needed inquiry. An inquiry is needed here. And whether or not, any of us are liable for having created this great furore, the situation was always there. Would it have been better to have just swept it all under the carpet, silenced it, let it go on, and for that kind of activity, if it is going on, and there's really a lot of, shall we say, collateral evidence that there are baby trafficking rings in the world, there are rituals going on in various parts. It does go on, it does exist. It's not beyond the bounds of the wildest possibility. This should be going on in a hilly place in North London. A hilly place. I live in Highgate. The underground of Highgate is riddled with tunnels and caves and links from the church to the Highgate cemetery and so on, going back to Victorian times and earlier. What went on in all those underground facilities. So, we need to face this element in society and really face it. And this is an opportunity. I say over and over again, this is a fantastic opportunity to deal with an issue which has been festering away somewhere in the hinterland of society for all these centuries and millennia possibly, ever since child sacrifice was, officially sanctioned. Child sacrifice then gradually went underground, and this is the result. Children are being sacrificed, and there is some of what could have been happening up there does go on. So that's where we have to leave it. And we have to ask the people this year, election year, everybody has to make a choice as to whether they want to live in a world where this is done secretly by people in positions of quite serious power and authority, with them sanctioning it, because let's face it, the local authority seems to have been sort of saying yes, this is okay to these goings on.
Do we want energy from a system that isn't working?
That's right. Yes, enough of my spouting. Let's hear from some of you.
I'd actually like to say something, if I may.
Yeah.
I've actually seen photocopy evidence from the children. I've read the testimony, part of the testimony, and I've also seen the drawings done by the children. There is absolutely no way the children can give the type of detail that I have actually witnessed within the testimony, and especially the drawings. If the children had not seen certain members of the school naked, for the police to say that there is no evidence, I am absolutely dumbfounded and totally disgusted that the police have taken that stance. Something needs to be done. The only way that I know of truly healing and moving forward from a situation, especially if there is a profound problem which society is currently facing, is that one has to be truthful with the situation. There is no point in hiding anymore. The police need to do their jobs properly. People like ourselves who are taking time out of their busy schedule to come down here want justice done. The laws are in place, but they're not being enforced. I have a particular message for certain gatekeepers within the alternative scene. You are complicit, totally complicit in preventing the truth or trying to distract those who are trying to put the truth out there by distracting people from the truth and coming out with all sorts of lies. You are complicit in not standing up for truth. When those of you who are key members within the truth movement and the alternative scene have purposely gone out of your way to protect those paedophiles who are responsible for what's happening. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done now, as we've actually started. What we need now is for people to put their indifferences to one side, come together. Even if you do not believe that this particular case is true, if you think it's some sort of conspiracy, put those belief systems to one side, put that paradigm to one side, come together with the rest of us, and let's move forward to get a change done, which desperately needs to be done. Enough is enough.
You're not happy with question things. Thank you. Well, I'm feeling a little bit foolish, to be honest, because somebody's just come out of the court now. The case, the judgment has been given, the case is finished, and apparently it was an open court, which I didn't know, I hadn't taken on board. Nobody tells me anything, so we could have been in there, which is extremely aggravating. The person who came out was a journalist, so he was the only member of the press in there. He probably was from the Ham and High. I would expect that he was from the Ham and High. He didn't want to talk to any of us as he shot out, and he didn't want to still less divulge what he'd heard. He'd got the judgment in his pocket, apparently, and he's going off to write up his article, so I suppose we'll read all about it in the papers. But what a nuisance that we didn't. Nobody tipped us off that it could be an open court at this stage. But anyway, that's the way it goes. No, because we couldn't go into the court this morning because it's closed court, family proceedings, and even the judgment day was a closed hearing. So we haven't actually heard what she said this morning, and we probably won't know till later on in the day, at the earliest, what is actually in her judgment. And
a fact-finding is not really a court process because it's been behind closed doors, so we don't really know what she's looked at. We don't know if she's looked at the videos, do we, at the moment? So we're assuming that she has looked at the videos. We really need to know in what sequence she's seen the videos, because it's very important that she's seen the actual family, the interviews by the family, and first, in chronological order, because if she's only seen the last police interview of the 17th of September and she's not going to have really got to the grips of the facts of the case, without being allowed into court, yourself not allowed in, we've no idea what she's going to base her decision on in this, what facts have been put to her. Do we know what evidence was submitted to her?
Well, I only know from the original list of witnesses who might have given evidence. And I do know that the grandparents gave evidence during the whole day. Obviously the father gave evidence. The mum and the boyfriend were supposed to but weren't there, so they couldn't. I think the head teacher gave evidence. She was certainly down on the list of witnesses. So, possibly one or two of the police and the social worker.
As far as we know, the church is still carrying on with its usual Sunday service at 11 o'clock.
Yes, well, that's it, and you have some idea to visit that, but I'm not quite so sure. My feeling is to back off from Hampstead just now. Neil, I have to say, quite honestly, I think we need to let that settle down a bit, because going into any part of Hampstead at the moment is going to be very provocative and inflammatory.
Do you think it's okay for the church service to carry on?
Well,
as normal, business as usual?
I mean, at the most...
Do you think that where else can we get access to stop the killings and rapes and sodomy and cannibalism of babies? How can we stop it? Because the whole of the public service structure is broken down, mainstream media is broken down, and it's down to you and me and a few other volunteers, you know, to do the job of the public service in the UK and globally.
I would like the public opinion to build up a little bit more over this whole issue, and then for many more people to input as to what action they want to participate in. I'm not sure if it's for just one or two people or to take unilateral action at this stage, especially when nothing has been proven. It's all allegations, and it's all, you know, I happen to believe it's more than allegations because it's my gut feeling, the gut feeling of many people, but we need public really to come in on this and to, you know, conspicuous by their absence in a way from this whole issue are the public in Hampstead. You know, I haven't had much contact. I've had one or two members of the public contacting me, but not a great lot of people as yet. They need to put their opinion in some way that.
You sure they're not Dearman supporters?
They probably could be. Yes, they probably.
Because they're not going to stop doing that, are they? Because they want everything kept hush hush and kept everything going. As you see, we've got to decide: is it going to stop or is it going to carry on? And how are we going to stop it? That's the issue, isn't it? It's not about one or two people who are going to be upset if it stops.
I think this debate is going to rage a bit for the next few days as to how we could go forward at this stage.
The girl and the boy say very, very clearly that and how their father holds their hands and Papa kills babies, and he has all of his suppliers of babies, and there is this extraordinary blog Angirfan which has published oodles of posts about the Hampstead scandal and puts that into the big picture of pedophilia and satanic abuse and the global elite. I mean, I am already, if you like, operating on a bigger picture level.
Yeah, typical that. So Sabine, where is Ellen now? Is there any chance of us speaking to her? Are you guys talking at all? What's the story?
She called me the other night, but she felt it was too late and she wanted to call me back later. I think she is very, very afraid of being located. I know. I just had a post when Abraham was speaking to a mutual friend. So I don't know where they are at, quite frankly. I would have preferred to streamline the strategy together, but it didn't happen. And I think it is because Abraham has a different agenda from her and from me, and we just didn't have the opportunity to share things. I left before she did, and she left because 9 police were at her house. I left because I was told that the position statement talks about a prosecution against me, so I hadn't actually read it until after I had left. But and I only realized afterwards that there are these 2 levels of threat. One comes from the police and the other one comes from the court. And the police is, and the court being used by the local authority. The police acts on behalf of those people who were named in that document that I definitely never published, which I was accused of. And so why they now use that as a reason for discussing and for putting me on bail, I don't know, but I vehemently deny that, and I can't help that people feel harassed. I mean, how ridiculous, you know. But that is part of the culture as well in the UK. And the fact is, the police use the Harassment Act on behalf of people who have complained, whereas the local borough of Barnet uses the issue of contempt of court. So I violated the secrecy of the family courts by publishing things about the proceedings, and that was, of course, against the High Court Judge Paufli, who got Belinda to make an undertaking, to give an undertaking on behalf of all of the members of the Association of Mackenzie Friends that we shouldn't publish anything. Well, I mean, this is just not on. You can't do that. And I had published already before the case began. And I also know that the only real limitation is one mustn't publish the identity of the children. And okay, so the videos, once they were out, as I say, I never published them. I sent the link to the Home Secretary, and that email was published by the blogger who made use of the link, but I didn't ask him to publish. And I just made available indirectly, and that's why I say it came out inadvertently. But I was following a lawful action when and why and how I was trying to prevent or show up crime, or get the institutions to stop crime rather than cover it up. So, in other words, the mother, no, I can't help you with her. I'm curious what will happen, when and how she will come out. Maybe she'll phone me later again, I don't know. Crime!
Ricky Dearman, age 46, from whom I am separated since 2007 due to his serious domestic violence and assault on my life.
Now, please leave the premises.
You just assaulted me.
I find it absolutely
You just assaulted me.
Would you please ask these people to leave?
Why are you touching that lady?
He just assaulted me.
Excuse me?
Sorry?
No, this isn't. You cannot touch that lady.
The church is open for the meeting. He just assaulted me.
That lady.
Sorry, this is not a public area.
In this area, whilst you've got an ongoing service,
is it
welcome for the public? Is what I mean.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So that's why they can speak to you, but if you don't wish to speak to them, by all means, let them speak to them. I think that's probably best.
Control yourself, in other words, yeah.
Remember, it's a peaceful protest.
No, but he...
You can't touch that lady. You just assaulted that woman.
Are you coming to the service?
Yes.
In that case, come into the service.
Sorry. The moment the service starts, you switch it off.
Okay.
Excuse me. The moment the service starts, you switch it off. You understand? So the moment the vicar is coming, all cameras off.
I don't want to do this anymore.
You don't want to do what anymore?
I don't want to be a killer anymore. No, it's time to move on, change my life.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Has spoken exclusively to us about his ordeal. His two children, aged 8 and 9, were forced to invent the allegations by their mother and her new boyfriend. Videos of the children making the false claims were put online and have been viewed millions of times. The allegations of abuse emerged during a long-running family court case in which Ricky, the father, was trying to arrange contact with his children. Family court proceedings, as you know, are normally confidential, but in this case, the judge took the unusual decision to make her judgment public. In it, she exonerated the father and other people said to be involved, stating that the abuse claims were baseless and that those who sought to perpetuate them were evil and or foolish. She described the treatment of the children by their mother and her partner as torture. The judge is also aware that Ricky is speaking to us. In this exclusive interview, the 45-year-old father reveals for the first time that he's still receiving death threats from people who continue to believe the claims. We're not using Ricky's surname in order to protect his children. And some of what he describes is harrowing and graphic, but gives an insight into what he was accused of. He explained when he first heard about the claims being made against him.
It was 2014, September, and I can't remember how, but I found out that the police were looking for me. It might have been social services got in touch with me and said that you need to go to the police station and the children have been taken away from your mom. And I'm saying, why? Why they've been taken away from the mom? What's going on? And they wouldn't tell me anything. And I was kind of freaking out a little bit.
And what did the police say to you that you'd been accused of?
They said, I'm okay with what they said. It's more that it had come from my children. They'd said that I'm the leader of a satanic sex cult paedophile ring, and there's 100+ involvement in this, including CAFCAS, the police, social services, the school, and I'm the leader of this. And I mean, I'm sat across, and they're recording this, and I'm sat across from the table from the police officer asking the questions, and I don't know how to answer that to...
Well, what was your reaction? I mean, did
well,
you...
It's difficult to have a reaction because I was kind of okay because it's just ludicrous.
Yes.
It was the fact that my children had said this.
Mm. And what else had they apparently told the police that you'd done?
They said that my children, my two children, 8 and 9,
Okay. Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
They said that I'd sexually abused them.
What I'll do, first of all, I'll tell you everyone's names so you're clear who it is. My name's Steve and I'm a policeman and I work here at Barnet Police Station. This lady here, her name's Cleo.
Cleo and Steve.
Cleo and Steve.
I work with Jean Clement.
I know, I haven't met Jean Clement, but we do similar jobs, but he works in a different part of London, doesn't he? I think he works south, yeah, somewhere else. I've never met him, but he does work, he is a policeman.
Yes, he's a sergeant.
Is he? He's a police sergeant,
yes.
Is he? Oh, okay. And Cleo's a police lady, and her job is the controller today, and that means she controls everything that's going on there, making sure it's all working. Okay, and if you see she had a pen and paper and she might make some notes because she might want to ask something at the end. Do you want a pen? And then from then we'll talk. So that leaves one other person here, and that's you. What I'd like to do is just go through some of the rules and just explain today's date. It's 10:30 in the evening, and it's the 5th of September. And as I said, we're here at Barnet, and what we're going to talk about, I wasn't there. So because I wasn't there, I need you to explain in as much detail everything you can remember. Okay, so just really think about everything that you can remember and tell me about it. Okay? If I ask you something, you don't understand what I'm saying, tell me, yeah? And I'll look at a different way, okay? And that goes the other way. If you say something and I'm not really sure what you mean, I might ask you to say it again, or I might ask the question in a different way.
Or something.
Yeah, I might say, well, what does that mean? Or what, can you tell me? And so that's that one, really. If I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, that's fine. Just tell me you don't know, okay? And that's because I want you to tell everything the truth, okay? I don't want you to guess. If you don't know, just tell me, okay? And that leads to the next thing. We must tell the truth, and that's you and me. So if I ask you something, you've got to tell me the truth, and if you ask me something, I'll tell you the truth. Should we agree that, shall we? Yeah? What I want to do is just make sure you understand the difference between truth and a lie. Okay? I've had this paper.
Truth is, and also it's just opposite.
Truth is what?
Truth is opposite.
Opposite to
well,
what?
lie is opposite truth.
Lie is opposite to the truth. So, right, if I tell you this, if I've drawn this picture here, this is on Cleo's paper. She sees this picture and she says, "Who drawn that?" I said, "Yes, it was me that drew it. I'm sorry." Would that be the truth or a lie?
That would be truth.
That would be the truth. So what would have been a lie?
No, I did not draw it, or somebody else, I don't know who.
That would be a lie, yes. So why do sometimes people tell the truth? Tell the lie. Why do sometimes people tell a lie?
So, because maybe sometimes they do. Maybe it's personal, I don't know.
What do you mean?
So maybe like if, I don't know. So why would they say a lie?
Yeah, why would they say a lie?
Maybe they don't want you to know about that.
Yeah, sometimes they don't want to tell you about it. Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to be in trouble. They don't want anyone to be in trouble.
That's also a good reason that sometimes people lie. That's true. That people don't want to get in trouble. And in here, you won't get in trouble. Okay, as long as you tell the truth, you will not get in trouble for anything you've said or done. Okay, as long as you tell us now. Okay. Yeah, and I promise that, and I say I've got to tell the truth as well. And from that, I need to say that includes if you use rude words or things like that. In here, you're allowed to use those rude words, okay? Your mummy knows what we're going to be talking about and knows that you're here, and she won't tell you off if you need to use those sort of words. I'd rather you use those rude words to tell me exactly what happened and try and make it polite, and you miss out things that have happened.
So I don't understand.
Well, say for example, me and Cleo were having a conversation, and you heard Cleo swear.
Yes.
Right? Do you understand that bit?
Yes.
So me and her talking, Cleo swore while she was talking to me. She said a rude word. And then I say to you, "Did you hear what Cleo said?" And I say, "Tell me what Cleo said." I'd rather you tell me everything, including the swear words.
So I should say.
Say like said, "Oh, Cleo said, oh, this camera's shit." Say she said that, and I say to you, "What did Cleo say?" I don't want you to say, "Oh, Cleo said the camera's rubbish." I want you to say, "Cleo said the camera was shit." Do you see?
Yes, I should.
So don't try and make it polite.
Yes.
Say exactly. Is that clear?
Yes, I shall say what exactly.
Exactly. Perfect. Well done. Thank you. So you've come here with your mum. You live with your mum,
Yes.
and do you ever get to see your dad? Do you?
My dad, Ricky.
Ricky, do you ever get to see him?
Every two Saturday, but actually, in fact, he lies to my mum, and he says that he just sees us every 2 Saturdays.
And do you see him every 2 Saturdays?
Orders.
Okay.
So
do you
the-
see him every 2 Saturdays?
Nope. We see him every single day.
Every single day. And how do you
At
do that?
school, he comes to our school.
Oh, does he? And what does he do at the school?
He does sex to us. He kills babies there.
Right.
We eat babies. We drink their blood.
Okay.
Because this is how we do it. So like on Wednesdays is the most special, busiest days, special day.
Okay. We'll take it little bit by little bit. So, and what's that? Is that sex, is it?
No, but
What's
that's how they
sex
hurt us. But the real sex is like they get plastic willies. They stick it in our bum. That's what kind of sex they do.
And what is your bum?
So they stick in a plastic willy in our bum, where the poo comes out.
Okay, so they put a plastic willy in the bum where the poo comes
Yes.
out. Okay.
Yes.
And anywhere else?
Yes, in our front private.
Okay.
And then they
you say our front private. Who are you talking
Yes,
about?
no. So because if we say it hurts, or if we cry or make a sound,
Yeah.
they'll give us spoon licks. So they'll get a spoon.
Spoon licks?
Yes.
What does that mean?
So you get spoons, and then they hit us on the head.
Okay.
That's when special keys though. As I said, they've got big bunches of keys.
Got it. Understood.
They've got loads. Like,
Okay.
Look,
So,
if you go to Mr. Morris,
yeah.
in our school, if you wait till our school, so today's Friday,
Yes.
so wait till Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Go to our school, catch Mr. Morris.
Yeah.
He's a big, tall guy.
Okay.
He'll catch the whole school, catch all the staff there.
What children? You told us one child to speak to. What other children?
no-
Right, I see.
Or lie or steal or do anything. But then but because that time my dad used to learn me to steal money, all kind of stuff like that. That's why I used to steal my mum's money and buy sweets with it, or sometimes give it to my dad.
Okay. And what about Papa Hemp?
Yes.
What's he like?
He's kind, but when we were telling him all about this on the holidays in Morocco, because we were scared to tell, of course, so we lied a bit. We lied a lot though. We lied a lot, but then we were so scared and terrified when he found out about it. Because the first time he's like, right, Elisa and Gabriel, somebody's touching you, and I know who it is.
He said
And
that to you.
and then we just gave up and we just said my dad.
What do you mean you gave
So
up?
we gave up the deal with our dad, but not to tell anyone about this, or mum, anyone. He's the last one to know Papa.
Okay, so a lot of people know Papa at the school.
Lots. All the teachers know him.
And they all met because of the year 1 teacher who's friends with your Papa.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of these teachers were at the
Yeah.
and okay.
And also the parents are involved too, touching and
Right,
sex.
Do you mind if we just take just a little bit at a time? Because as I said, you go too quickly for me. Okay. So you're at the swimming pool. These people are there who are your Papa's friends. And then you said the sex happens. What does that mean?
And you know willies? They stick a plastic willy in my bottom.
Okay.
And then it bleeds.
Okay, and where does that happen at the swimming pool?
At the disabled toilet. And they have McDonald's there. And there's a man called Frank. Yeah, and he's the boss of McDonald's.
Right.
He's like the staff.
Okay, so at the swimming pool.
Yeah.
So you say they put plastic willies in your bum.
Yeah.
Where do they get these plastic willies from if they're swimming?
They buy them.
Okay, so they bought them.
Yeah.
They're swimming. You're doing races with your Papa.
Yeah.
So how have you got from doing a race with your Papa to then doing sex.
Pardon?
How do you get from, so you're swimming,
Yeah.
you've done your dive,
Yeah.
you've done your special
They
thing.
take me to the disabled toilet.
So who's taking you to the disabled toilet?
My dad, the teachers, but the disabled toilet is like ginormous. He's even bigger than this room.
So there's big disabled toilets. And how do you get from the swimming pool to the disabled toilets?
Like you get out of the swimming pool, there's where all the disabled toilet is where all the toilets are. The normal one, like the boys' toilet, the women's toilet.
Yeah. Okay.
And also my dad kills babies.
Okay, so you've got to the disabled toilets.
I think it's worth telling our audience how far it got. Your children were interviewed on 3 separate occasions by the police. On the first and second occasion, they made the allegations about you.
Yes.
Abusing them, sexually abusing them, being the leader of this satanic cult. Various other adults involved.
Yes.
Abuse in all sorts of places, fast food restaurants, churches, swimming pools.
Swimming baths, yes, sure, yes.
It was.
And I was selling them to people. My kids are wonderful. I'm so sorry. I've been selling them in this satanic cult thing, not just they said by myself, but by they named 60, 70, 80 people, and they said that we're killing babies. I mean, I was shipping them in, and we was cooking. They were showing with their hand movements how I would get their hand on the knives, and we would cut the baby's neck, drain the blood, and then drink the blood. And I mean, it's just horrific upon horrific. There are consequences, and we've got to face these consequences. Who do this type of actions?
As a result of the spread of these clips on the internet, people sharing them, what sort of abuse did you receive?
Death threats. Today, yesterday, still comments on pedo, whatever. I understand. I get it. I was violent to her. And I got domestic. Like I've apparently got a background of domestic violence. I don't.
Were you ever violent to her?
Yes, on 2 occasions, 3 occasions, but 2 occasions were the same. So I got her glasses, and I just, out of frustration, I ripped her glasses up. That was one, and 2 other times I grabbed hold of Mom with her jumper or whatever she had on, and I would shake her. It's like something's just not connecting. And so those are the 2 times that you can say, well, you're violent. Yeah, well, I shouldn't have done that.
Swimming pool, and in East Finchley there's a swimming pool, and the whole East Finchley does it. The boss does it. Everybody does it.
That's what?
The sex, eating baby.
In the previous video about the BBC interview with Ricky Dearman and Victoria Derbyshire, we heard in detail about the alleged abuse of the children at East Finchley swimming baths. Now, they were the only allegations that Barnet Police interviewed Ricky Dearman about. They mentioned nothing to him about the abuse in the school or the church, or any of the murder details. The children's allegations are quite feasible when you consider that the 2 Finchley Lido pools closed to the general public at 4:15 on Saturday afternoons. Private pool parties are then entertained until at least 6:30 in the evening. Now, we know that the Christchurch Primary School sometimes booked the pool at Finchley, And we know that Dearman was taking the children for contacts every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. from between October 2010 and October 2011. And the children alleged that they were abused at the Lido during these contacts. So again, why no police investigation? Why are the children in care when they should be with their mother and Russian grandparents?
And Ella and those two children's case is not unique. I sat with her for 3 hours and what she shared was 100% truth. And I know no police officers have properly investigated this.
I'll give this a clean up.
Ella and Abraham have been treated appallingly for doing the right thing. Instead of commending their bravery, the sly British media have printed lies and slander about them. David Wilkes from the Mail Online was particularly vicious, claiming that Ella had orchestrated this whole series of events to get back at Dearman in a custody dispute. He failed to mention that Ella already had full custody of the children.
The story which Judge Puffley gave to the media is that that is a dispute, it's a custody dispute. Now, this couldn't be further from the truth because I already had custody over my children. Why would I do that? Why I would take children with these false allegations to the police and to put them through what they're going through and to put myself in this situation? Besides, I think it's a quite serious crime, right? To make false allegations and of this matter. And not just that, if we wanted to get back onto him, I mean, why I would include teachers, parents, why I would do that? Police officers, the social workers, Kafka's workers, why or not I would do that?
Tell me about Mama first of all. What's she like?
She's kind, yes.
And what's your favourite thing about Mama?
She's really kind and she looks after us.
Oh, nice.
So she takes us to holidays. Sometimes she gives us junk food. My mum used to make sushi, but without rice.
About what your mum does. Is there anything that your mum does that you don't like, other than food? And what do you like about your mum?
She's really kind. She buys whatever I like.
Oh wow, that's lucky. And what sort of things do you like?
And she also gives me lots of money.
Does she? What's that for?
Just gives me money for no reason.
Oh, okay.
She gives me, like, Abraham, he gives me £200.
What for?
An iPad mini.
Wow, I gave you some money for an iPad mini. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And what had you done to get that?
Nothing. I just really did nothing.
Oh, okay.
I just earned it for behaving well.
Oh, okay. So your mum does nice things. She buys you what she wants.
She buys me lots of treats. She buys me popcorn. She buys me sandwiches.
Wow.
And so it's Abraham B buys me sandwiches, popcorn, and she does my bed. And
wow. So lots of nice things.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you don't like?
No, she never hurts me. Never hurts me.
Never? That's good.
No.
Good.
She just says, please don't do that.
Oh, that's nice. And what about Papa Hemp?
No, he never hurts me.
No, what do you like about Papa? Tell me the nice things about Papa Hemp.
He does nice juices for me. He buys lots of nice stuff. He buys me clothes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of Papa Hemp, and just to clear up a couple of things, Abraham formed a private nutritional research organisation called Hampstead Organics in 1996, which developed a bit of cult following. They were the first company to put hemp seed on the shelves of the Whole Food stores in small brown recycled paper packets, and they established a base at Spitalfield's organic fruit and veg market till about 2004, where they disseminated hemp seed nutrition information as well as information about raw food. Now, the company was required by Planet Organic to mark their packets of hemp seed with the ubiquitous 666 barcode. Abraham was adamant that the packets should not bear this 666 barcode, and so, have feeling that they'd fulfilled their remit of reintroducing hemp as a foodstuff, he began in earnest on research. In 2013, Abraham received an honorary doctorate from Dr. Anek Westra, for his work showing how the fresh juice of hemp, incorporating leaves, seeds and flowers, supplied an ideal plant-based blood transfusion liquid for humans.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything you don't like about Papa Hemp?
No, it never hurts me.
No,
Never.
but what about other things? Is there anything at all you don't like?
No.
No? And what about Papa Hemp?
Yes.
What's he like?
He's kind.
It was 2014, September, and we were killing babies. I was shipping them in, and we was cooking. We'll cut the baby's neck, drain the blood, and then drink the blood. And yes, it's hard. It's a gift.
I think it's worth telling our audience how far it got, abusing them, sexually abusing them, being the leader of this satanic cult, various other adults involved, abuse in all sorts of places, fast food restaurants, churches, swimming pools.
Swimming baths, sure.
And what did the police say to you?
They said that there is no reason why the children should not come and live with me, and they would have a wonderful life. I mean, these are just fundamentals. Should be. Yeah.
Those clips online of your children making those allegations about you.
Well, it's true. I'm the leader of a satanic sex cult paedophile ring. I mean, what a great job.
As a result, what sort of abuse did you receive?
Death threats. Today, yesterday, still comments on, pedo, whatever. I understand. I get it.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
I should not have been put through this, and I mean, it's just horrific upon horrific.
Why? That is the huge question here.
It is. We're talking about their heads mixed up, messed up. Just sick. Months and months and months and months of just abuse. My thought was, okay, excuse me, my next thought was, okay, let's, Ricky, you've got to go and start to take things forward, getting to see your children more, and basically to eventually be the carer of my children.
You're clearly fighting to get them home.
I really, maybe I'm naive. I truly think that it's going to be okay.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Ricky, thank you very much for talking to us.
And thank you, Victoria. Thank you. I was violent to her. I was and I got domestic. Like, I've apparently got a background of domestic violence. I don't.
Were you ever violent to her?
Yes, on 2 occasions.
I think it's worth
3 occasions, but
telling our audience how far it got, abusing them, sexually abusing them, being the leader of this satanic cult, various other adults involved, abuse in all sorts of places, fast food restaurants, churches, swimming pools.
Swimming baths, sure. I was violent to her. I was and I got domestic. Like, I've apparently got a background of domestic violence. I don't.
Were you ever violent to her?
Yes, on 2 occasions, 3 occasions, but 2 occasions were the same. So I got her glasses, and I just, out of frustration, I ripped her glasses up. That was one, and 2 other times I grabbed hold of Mom with her jumper or whatever she had on, and I would shake her. It's like, it's just, something's just not connecting. And so those are the 2 times that you can say, well, you're violent. Yeah, well, I should have done that.
And in the East Wing, she does a swimming pool. And
It was 2014, September, and we were killing babies. I was shipping them in, and we was cooking. We'll cut the baby's neck, drain the blood, and then drink the blood. And yes, it's hard. It's a gift.
I think it's worth telling our audience how far it got, abusing them, sexually abusing them, being the leader of this satanic cult, various other adults involved,
Yes.
abused in all sorts of places, fast food restaurants,
Yeah.
churches, swimming pools.
Swimming baths, yeah, sure.
And what did the police say to you?
They said that there is no reason why the children should not come and live with me, and they would have a wonderful life. I mean, these are just fundamentals. Should be.
As a result of the spread of these clips on the internet, people sharing them, what sort of abuse did you receive?
Death threats. Today, yesterday, still comments on pedo, whatever. I understand. I get it. It was 2014, September, and we were killing babies. I was shipping them in, and we was cooking. We'll cut the baby's neck, drain the blood, and then drink the blood. And yes, it's hard. It's a gift.
I think it's worth telling our audience how far it got, abusing them, sexually abusing them, being the leader of this satanic cult, various other adults involved, abused in all sorts of places, fast food restaurants, churches, swimming pools.
Swimming baths, yeah, sure.
And what did the police say to you?
They said that there is no reason why the children should not come and live with me, and they would have a wonderful life. I mean, these are just fundamentals. Should be.
Those clips online of your children making those allegations about you.
Well, it's true. I'm the leader of a satanic sex cult paedophile ring. I mean, what a great job.
As a result, what sort of abuse did you receive?
Death threats. Today, yesterday, still comments on pedo, whatever. I understand. I get it.
And then they tell there's a man called Felix there, and then he makes this, like, he makes statues of churches, he makes that kind of stuff. Like, so he makes.
Sorry. Can you be quiet, please? Just doing an interview. Cheers. We didn't know that. Yeah, no, fine. Cheers.
I don't understand.
Well, there's obviously, if it's a kitchen, to make, I assume, is it to make all the children's lunches?
Yes, but instead of making the children lunches, they give baby to the children.
They give baby to the children.
Yes, so they give, like, if they say there's spaghetti bolognese that day, they put a bit of baby meat in all the time.
And how do they make baby meat to use spaghetti?
Because they cut the baby. Mrs. Forsyth, the headmistress, she cuts the baby.
And what about all the bones and that?
Yes, they keep the bones.
Where
But
do they go?
No, I know, but the bones, they don't just, like, keep them. they make stuff out of them. So they make like statues of the
Where are these
church.
statues?
Yes, because they got carving, like there's people carving people. They work near Swiss Cottage, somewhere there. That's where they work, in a carving shop. And it's just, and then they tell that there's a man called Felix there, and then he makes this, like, he makes statues of churches. He makes that kind of stuff. Like, so he makes.
Sorry. Can you be quiet, please? Just doing an interview. Cheers. Yeah, no, fine. Cheers.
Children allege that their father, Ricky Dearman, is a child pornographer. Ricky Dearman, they allege, sexually abuses and humiliates them and the other children, along with all the other members of the cult. Dearman and others film this and upload it onto the internet. The children claim that their father has shown them some of this material. So in this video, we're going to offer evidence that seems to substantiate the children's allegations. Every internet user is familiar with predictive analysis. Predictive software analyses your behaviour patterns online and works out what kind of a person you are. For example, if you buy lots of shoes on eBay, the software will pick up your shopping patterns, analyse them, and advertise shoe shops and eBay at you. YouTube uses it to recommend videos based on the other videos you have watched, and so on. E-commerce is now such big business that online retailers have invested millions into developing increasingly accurate predictive software. Back in March 2015, a fellow researcher, let's call him John Smith, left a message on our Hampstead research blog. John stressed that he was not accusing anyone of being guilty, but Ricky Dearman seemed to be deleting all traces of himself from the internet, he said. John drew our attention to one particular website that Dearman had deleted. The IP address of this website was very important, said John. We were unable to verify whether Two Hearts Delight belonged to Dearman, so we took John's word for it. John explained that Two Hearts Delight's IP address is not a normal IP address, it is a step up from that. Two Hearts Delight is a domain name server, or DNS. A DNS is used as a lookup table to reference other websites. According to John, if you add a DNS address to your computer, you can access websites that other people can't access, not unless they know the IP addresses of those websites. So we wondered, would a DNS give someone who knew what they were doing access to illegal sites, sites that were hidden, sites that contain, say, child pornography? Could a DNS be used to search DeepNet? Is this how paedophiles and other criminals operate online? We don't know, but from what John said, it sounds as if this could be the case. We followed John's lead and looked up Two Hearts Delight on the Wayback Machine, and here we can see that Two Hearts provided services and conducted tours with deep connections into the United States and Russia. We have also heard that the symbol of two hearts is sometimes used as a paedophilic reference to sex with young girls. We don't know if this is fact, but if it is, then the name Two Hearts Delight could signal more than a straightforward dating agency. Still following John's lead, on the 23rd of March 2015, we accessed this website, which shows us all websites that are hosted at Ricky Dearman's IP address. On the surface, it all looks perfectly innocent, a selection of health-related sites. But when we check the predictive analysis software, which can see what's going on behind the scenes, we were directed to a list of hardcore and child pornography websites. We decided to look into these websites for the purpose of fact-checking. After all, they look and sound like child pornography, but are they really? What we found is that most of these links were inactive. One, however, was active. This address was offering pornography of children as young as 1 year old. In the course of fact-checking, because we did not want to accuse an innocent man, we followed some of the links and found pornographic images of young girls. We did not want to investigate further, but we did this to demonstrate to our viewers that this is fact. So the predictive software had worked out that what was going on behind the scenes on Ricky Dearman's computer was nothing to do with health and fitness. The predictive software told us that these websites might be a front for child pornography. Please note that predictive software cannot lie. It cannot be compromised or intimidated into silence. The child porn site you were looking at may not have been registered by Ricky Dearman, and the material we examined may not originate from him either. It is, however, quite possible that this is the case. The software strongly suggests that he and the other users of his websites have at least accessed this IP address. When we look up who registered, we find someone at an address in the Ukraine, calling themselves Smirnov, which may well, of course, be a fake name. Please note that as Dearman seems to be removing his websites or moving things around, things will have changed over the past 3 weeks. When we checked the predictive software on the 16th of April 2015, the only trace of child pornography we were offered was this. The gay website is probably nothing illegal, although dorms may have paedophile connotations. Tellingly, back in March, when we dug further into the predictive software, it revealed that users of this child pornography site appeared to be accessing a collection of medical sites to do with diagnosing whether an adult man or female child has a sexually transmitted disease. Many of these websites look the same, as if they have been created by the same person. And now I want you to use your imagination. What if a decent, loving parent or relative heard that their child had been abused and that videos of this had been posted online? What if that person was so distressed they felt a need to investigate these claims, search for that pornography and try to identify faces and guilty parties? Would that parent be allowed to do this? No way. No matter how well-meaning they were, they would be risking arrest. Yet these laws do not apply to child pornographers and paedophiles. People like Ricky Dearman are being protected by the UK judiciary, people like Judge Pawley. And when previous Prime Minister Tony Blair was informed that a large number of his fellow politicians and members of the establishment had been caught viewing child pornography online, he issued a D-notice, which prohibited the media from reporting the matter and protected the child pornographers and paedophiles who were never arrested. Thank goodness then for John Smith's message and predictive analysis software, which gave us evidence to substantiate the children's allegations without our having to search it out. We hope that this evidence will be admissible in court in support of the children's allegations and their loving mother.
They've been doing this throughout time, and now they're gonna stop, because it's time for them to stop.
That's that I'd say it's true of you.
Just remember, fear is the opposite of faith. Fear is the mind killer. Elisa and Gabriel know that.
They said.
Yeah, we've been considering the option. We realise now that these demons, they will never stop. Not of their own volition. They will never stop voluntarily killing and torturing babies. Never. They will never stop voluntarily. They have to be made to stop. Yeah? They have to be made to stop. We've made offers. We've approached them. We've tried to close this case down. We've tried to stop this from happening. We understand. We warned them. We warned them that this could quickly become a cause célèbre and become a question of national security. We warned them. Now it's too late. The people are awake. And when the people wise up, they're going to rise up, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's time. It's time for them to stop, and it's time for the people to awaken. So do not fool yourselves that we have attempted to fool ourselves. Do not be fooled into thinking that these demons will stop, will see the error of their ways. They will not. They're addicted to the adrenaline. They're addicted to the money. They're addicted. And like most junkies, they are in addictive denial. We have shown them that they can enjoy eternal life. We have shown them. But they continue to sacrifice innocent infants and indoctrinate young children into their culture. It's time for it to end. It's time for it to end.